do it. Well, our very first topic with you is Charles Barkley.
Okay.
His hatred of Skip is no secret.
Okay.
Listen to what he had to say about our friend.
Thank you for giving me an alternative so I don't have to watch Skip Bayless anymore. I will always be indebted to you, so I don't have to watch that asshole Skip Bayless.
You know, you got guys on TV. You know, you got Skip Bayless, who's a punk. You got J. Mariotti, who's a punk. There's always going to be punks in TV because they got no talent. They got to talk about famous people.
Let me tell you something. Anybody who goes after Derrick Rose is just an idiot. And first of all, you know I think Skip Bayless is the biggest punk in the world. You know, he's the biggest punk in the world. I just hate Skip Bayless, and I hate using the word. It works in his favor. You know, I don't even watch him anymore. You know, I told Dan Patrick, thank God for Dan Patrick, because he gives me something to watch in the morning. To get on TV every day and just go after the big stars, that don't make you a journalist. That makes you a punk. And that's what Skip Bayless is.
Can you fight? I'm just asking.
I'm ready.
Oh, I'm just saying, can you fight?
We
Are you a
didn't hear
verbal fighter or a physical challenge?
We didn't hear Charles go all the way to the kill quote.
He actually has. He actually says, I want to kill Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
What, do you have any idea what his beef is with Skip? I mean, clearly he made his points there, but...
Obviously, you guys have run into each other in some kind of way.
Never.
Never run into Charles. You've never had a conversation with him. So you're a punk. Now let me stop. You avoided Charles Barkley.
But
Never be a punk,
I
man.
have dared him multiple times, Kenny Smith, to come sit right there in that chair, or this chair, or even this chair right here.
Well, you know what you get more than anything? That never played syndrome. You've never played, so do you really know? And because I always say this too, like as a journalist, I can look at the bird's eye view and go, oh, okay, I see what's going on. But then there's an infantry view.
Is that fair?
And I think that Charles lives in the say it again.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
So right where the ground goes and where everybody's going in, that's where he lives. So when you come from the bird's eye view, it's like anybody could say that. So you get
Kenny,
you have that self-hate already.
How do you explain that half the GMs in your league now never played a lick of pro basketball? Most of them didn't play college basketball. Sam Presti building the Oklahoma City Thunder up to greatness and glory. Think he played pro basketball?
Well, I think the thing about that is that's why you can say Jeremy Lin exists, because they don't know. Some of them don't know what they're doing who didn't play, because to have a guy like that in your talent pool and you can't evaluate the talent that's in your pool, then something's wrong with you as well. So you get both ends of the spectrum. I think that it'd be difficult for me to be a good baker if I've never baked before, but I could learn how to bake. I could learn. It would take me longer to learn how to bake.
The greatest baker ever, Michael Jordan, has become the worst evaluator of talent I think we've ever seen. The Bobcats are still a mess.
The only thing that I would say, he was part of that whole bringing Gilbert Arenas and that so-called Big Three, and then they left, and that's when he left Washington. So the Kwame Brown, he gets the. Well, okay.
Well, it's Kwame Brown.
Yeah, he gets the.
You
He gets
bring
the
up
Kwame Brown.
you just lose me right
That's
there.
what- that's where he gets.
Adam Morrison, you lose me at Adam Morrison.
But if you say you help bring Jameson, you help bring Arenas to Washington, that team was contending with Cleveland at the time that he helped build. So the Clippers sucked for how many years? Are we gonna say now they're getting it right? No, they fell into some chips as well.
Well, there was no doubt that Donald Sterling spent years being absolutely god-awful, and it's nice that he joined the ranks of the decent and respectable owners.
No, without question. So I think that some of it has to be talent-based and some has to be... And what Michael probably has to do is stop evaluating people on the Michael Jordan syndrome, meaning he can't evaluate him on himself because no one can live up to those measurements.
Right.
And so I think a lot of times he looks at that and that measurement.
Let me just say one last thing. I routinely find that the greater the player, the worse the talent evaluator going forward into his next career. Which is why you're the smartest man on your panel.
Well, you know what?
Think about that.
You know what? The funny thing, Bill Russell one time, he was coaching us for Sacramento Kings, and he was telling our big guys, you know, how to rebound. He's like, you guys not rebounding enough. And so LaTalle Thompson goes in, what do we do? He's like, just go get it.
Correct.
Like, well, Bill, you can just go get
right.
it. But everyone else has to put the right foot forward, put the elbow in, put the hand up and reach.
Yeah.
But you could just go get it. Sometimes I do think that great players forget that.
Let me touch on a sensitive issue, and it's not really about Skip and what Charles Barkley said, but when people like you talked about, he's got the I didn't play syndrome or what have you. Well, Charles Barkley did play. Charles Barkley is considered one of the 50 greatest players of all time by most of us. Maybe not Skip Bayless, but by most of us.
I'll buy that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley was a stud. We knew what he did as a player. I love him. But the thing about it is, he doesn't have the ring, and you have players in this league because they're sensitive to what he says, and they turn on Charles because that Charles played. Charles is a Hall of Famer. Charles is an Olympic champion, a gold medalist. He's done everything but win a world championship, and you've got players in this league that still hate on Charles Barkley. Why is that?
I think the one thing that Charles gets hated on because sometimes it's outrageous, but I don't think it's maybe the way Skip gets it or the way he's getting it from Charles. Because the one thing that I think that myself, Charles, we never do is the things you can't measure. I'm never going to say a guy doesn't play with passion or heart.
Right.
I mean, I can't measure that. Yeah, your butt doesn't
Can you
get.
see that, though?
No, but I can tell you. No, I can tell you your butt doesn't get back on defense.
All right.
Boop, here's the film.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You didn't box out. Boop, there's the film. So when I tell you don't box out, you don't get back on defense. You have now you're lackluster. Then the words associated. But when you come out and just say lackluster, and then when you didn't play, guys get mad because they say, "How do you know what's in my heart? How do you know I'm lackluster? How do you know I don't have passion?" You know, but your butt don't get back on
But
defense.
Kenny, you had to play with your head as well as your talent, and you had some talent, but not extraordinary talent. And yet you were in the right place at the right time, but you contributed heavily to rings.
Well, I would just say this, that there's a right place and right time for everybody. You know, in college, I was first team All-American Player of the Year. So you say, oh, you're the best player in college
In the
basketball.
ACC conference, going against the likes of Mark Price and Georgia Tech.
I mean, and then you come into the NBA, it's a talent-driven pool. And you have to, and every role is different. Like, because I score more, because I assist more, because I rebound more, which role is more important? Because I know how to run a team. Because to be a superstar, I think you have to have 5 great qualities. You have to be able to score, rebound, and assist. But the other 2 things are you have to have leadership skills and you have to be able to control the tempo of the game. And can you control the tempo of the game? So for me, I had 2 qualities. I was supposed to score and control the tempo of the game. Maybe that's not, but those are valuable parts of a championship team. But it may not be the scorer, the assist leader, or the big rebounder.
Sure, yeah.
But those are the 2 parts that I was supposed
Well,
to
let's get on out of here. Who's the league MVP right now?
LeBron James.
Stop it.
LeBron James.